All teams played 6, 7 or 8 games. We're almost halfway. We're going to look at a small evaluation on how the team scored and how they got their goals against them, and where still we need improvement. It's divided in open play, set pieces and transition moments. So sometimes penalties, I count them as set pieces, and sometimes it could be created because of a transition moment. So I'm not going to go into deep details, but more a general overview of the teams. Let's have a look. This is not the table, these are just all the teams lined up. And we will start with ATK Mohon Bagan. There's nothing new in their formation, a 3-5-2 formation or 5-3-2, however you want to call it. What is important to look at here is they had 8 goals scored, and mostly all come from a transition, and 3 goals only against them. So the goals conceded are basically all from set pieces. So that means it's very obvious where they need to improve, and it's also very obvious that this team is cruising where they left off last year, so they're doing very well. Next in line is Jamshedpur. Jamshedpur is making progress, although they had some bad luck with referees, but overall their formation is 4-3-3 or 4-1-4-1, where I think Monroy and Alex, they're doing much better than in the beginning, and of course in the back Hartley is doing a really good job as a captain. I think it's going to be a stable team when they get everyone fit. If you look at the goals scored, goals conceded, goals scored 9, and what is important here is that most of the goals are from transition moment and set pieces. We want to maybe see a little bit more of open play, but I think Owen Cole is choosing the right tactics against each team. The goals conceded, basically what you see here is that most goals are conceded from set pieces, so they know where they need their improvement. The transitions, not too much, that means it's a good organized, and same from open play. We go to Northeast. Northeast also nothing new there. What is very clear is either they play a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-2 sometimes. But what is important to look at is that they have a very solid defense, that we all know. But how we look at the goals scored, that's 10 goals. But from those 10 goals there is clearly 50% in transition, and there were some lucky goals also with it. So I'm really curious how they're going to develop the rest of the league. And 40% from open play. What is important to look at, the goals conceded, 75% from set pieces, so they really need to improve there. And as I said it a few times, I think it's a very solid defensive team. Even they scored 10 goals, I think they rely too much on the long ball towards the striker, so we want to see a little bit more of variation there. The next team is FC Goa. FC Goa is still a bit struggling in my opinion, although they play a pretty stable system 4-2-3-1. What is important is, in my opinion, that the defender, the centre back, Gonzalez, who is one of my favorite defenders, as when he's not playing, I think they weaken the team a lot. Lenny Rodriguez wasn't playing last game, don't know why he was absent, but they need that defensive on the midfield. And I think when Brandon plays behind the striker together with Idibodi on the midfield, and then Mendoza from the wing, Ortiz, that is the most successful lineup. The other side, the other winger, is still for me a question. They have options there, but overall, of course, they have a striker who can score goals. If you look at the goals scored, what is clear, open play, that means there is football there. There's nothing new there. They left off, they continue where they left off last year. It's always about football. But if we look at the goals conceded, a high percentage is from set pieces and transition moments. That means when you are an attacking team, you need to organize your team better when you lose the ball. So still a lot of work, but I think the most important for them is to find out what is their strongest 11. Next team in line is Odisha. Odisha is struggling, although I don't think that the coach is doing a bad job. But my first question was already in the beginning of the season, going from a Spanish ball possession based football to an English coach, and I mean that with all respect, because I don't think that he's playing long ball games, so that's a good thing. But their biggest problem is I never understood why they have 3 strikers. They really need to figure out how to play on top. I think one of the issues, in my opinion, if it would be better if they play with 2 strikers, or even maybe with Marcelinho behind it. They only have 1 foreign midfielder, but overall I think the coach is still doing a good job. If you look at the goals scored, only 5. The good thing is that 60% from open play, so it is not even that bad. That means they are able to dominate teams, or they are able to put a football a football philosophy inside, not just depend on set pieces or play on the counter attack. If you look at the goal conceded, what is important is defensively they are pretty well organized, but the transition moments, so when they lose the ball, that needs to be better, and defensive set pieces. So overall, I think Odisha lacks a little bit of quality maybe, and they need to figure out the foreigners up front. Do they play with 2 strikers, or they keep going on in the way they're playing now? But overall, they need to improve. Let's go to the next one. Bengaluru. What important with Bengaluru is they started the big season of a 3-4-3, where it's all about those players behind the striker, and they changed it back to the 4-2-3-1, especially when Dimas came inside. But the big question for them is still who's going to play on top, Brown or Offset, and that is still, they keep changing that, and that should be become more stable. If you look at the goals scored, they still scored 11 goals. Still, the majority is from set pieces, and conceding is a lot from open play. That means, in my opinion, defensively they need to organize better. Even if sometimes it looks great, but overall I think they make mistakes there. But I think Bengaluru in the end always will do good. Overall pretty stable, a high amount of goals scored, but still also a pretty high amount of goals against them. I think they need to figure out, most important is who is going to be their main striker and stay stable as an organization, and they will do fine. Mumbai, convincingly on top of the league, although I do have a few remarks. 4-2-3-1, nothing new there. It looks like Lefondre is the main striker, Bart stays outside. Bomos seems to be injured, so question how they are going to continue with that. They scored 11 goals and 3 against them only. What is the domination, the football play that we want to see from Lobera is till now, in my opinion, not occurring yet, because if you have 55% from set pieces, that is a lot. 3 goals against them, that is low, so that is good, and I think a lot of that is Murtada Fall, who is really a rock in the defense there. But overall, they are top of the league. They scored a lot of goals, a low amount against them, but it's still not the Lobera team that I saw from Goa. But for sure, with these players, they should be the champions title candidate together with ATK Mohun Bagan. Let's go to the next one. Kerala Blasters. They had a chance, they had a new coach from March. They had a new technical director. The formation they're playing is 4-2-3-1. They had all the time to. This is the team that had the most time to prepare the team already from March. They chose a new coach, a new technical director. The coach had all the time to prepare his Indian quota and his foreign quota, and the biggest problem still for them is the striker up front, who's doesn't score many goals. But if I look at how many goals they scored for a team that wants to play football, the coach even criticized me in the beginning for we played good football last year but not very attacking. I will give that then back to him. But you look at the goals scored is even a high percentage, the highest in set pieces, so not really from open play. The goals against them is too high. I think defensively they make big mistakes. They are not very well organized in my opinion, so that's a big worry there if you look at the time they had to prepare, but let's see what's happened in the upcoming games. Then we go to the next one, is Chennaiyin, who in my opinion is a good team. They will grow. They play either a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1, but what is important, they still don't have everyone fit, but you see it in the goals scored and conceded is very low, but still for each team they are difficult. If somebody faces Chennaiyin, they have problems, so it's a good team. What the area to work on is for sure is goals conceded is 60% is from set pieces. The rest is there's a big variation there, and I think it's a team that we will still see go up in the upcoming games towards the end of the league. Then we go to my favorite team, that is Hyderabad, who is the most consistent in my opinion in their tactical setup. 4-2-3-1 is basically the lineup. If you look at the goals scored and conceded, it's still low, but overall their performances are great, and you see also where the game plan of goals conceded still from open play. So defensively they can improve, but they're doing well. But keep in mind they're playing only with 2 or 3 foreigners. So I'm also sure when this team is completely fit, they will still grow and grow higher up the ranking. And as I said, it's my favorite team in the league. Look at the last team, that's going to be Sport Club East Bengal. I think Robbie Fowler is not doing a bad job. Overall, in the beginning they started in a 3-4-3 where Pilkington and Magoma played behind the striker. The last game they changed, and the whole key, I said it from the beginning, is the striker position. Pilkington did a really good job there. Magoma really improved the last game. Because in the other games he made some mistakes, even he scored some goals, but the last game he was also physically fit. The thing that I would criticize Robbie Fowler a little bit is his changes. That means he waits very long with making changes, and they're dropping back. Sometimes it's good to bring in fresh legs up front, and I think that cost them, but overall the philosophy and the way of trying to play is good. Of course, Fox coming back, that's a great plus. If we look at the goals scored and goals conceded, the goals scored only 3, but all from open play, or like 67%, so that's a great part. And the goals conceded, a big issue there is the transition, and that is basically due to making mistakes in their own build-up and being organized. I remember one against Mumbai during your set pieces, etc. And these are organizational things, so they should be easy to improve. Overall, I think East Bengal, or Sport Club East Bengal, they will need that striker position filled in, and yeah, hopefully they gel a bit more and become more stable during transition moments and don't lose the ball too easy in their own build-up situations, and then probably they will recover. That's it, and we'll see you at the next one.